To introduce her at this time. And I do want to make very clear that, interestingly, we did not coordinate our outfits. We just share a cosmic fashion link. So, Catherine Young and I go way back, all the way back to 8th grade at Southside Junior High School in Scranton, Pennsylvania. We graduated from Scranton Central High, and over the years, our paths have then diverged and converged and diverged and converged, and somehow we both wound up living here in the driftless area of Wisconsin. She is the author of the eco-poetry collection Geosmin and a memoir of place called Black Diamonds, forthcoming from Torrey House Press. Her writing is published in literary anthologies and journals nationally and internationally. Catherine has worked as a national park ranger, an educator, a farmer, and a mother. And her podcast, Landward, is available from WDRT in Viroqua. Rooted in farm life, Catherine lives with her family in Wisconsin, where she is totally in love with meandering streams. She deeply believes in the use of story and art as tools for transforming the world. Welcome, Catherine.
There we go. Again, I'm going to say to you that I am honored to be here, and I'm delighted to be here. I'm so grateful to share that with you. When I hear the word delight, I feel playful or joyous, and I think the word delight sounds as if it could be of the light, and I think of the light and the widening days of June. And so I would like to read a June poem to you. It's called Firefly Nights. June, stay a while. Linger with me until the last bloom on the basswood tree withers and the bees move to bergamot. I'll see you in the jars of cherry jam, the memories of first potatoes and toes in cold lake waters. And later, in December, when it's hard to remember what is now or real, when I look to the night sky above the frosted field to seek Orion's steady guidance, I will hold the after image of sparks in the night above each creek and stream, arteries of fireflies, glittering rivers of light. That poem is from this collection, Geosmin, and I want you to see the image that's on the cover of the book that I chose. It's the world in a drop of water. And if you look at it carefully, it looks like where we live, though it wasn't photographed here. And actually, it was photographed upside down. That is a drop of dew on the grass. It's another way of looking at the world. That's what art does for us. That's what delight does for us. I'm going to read the first poem in the collection. It's called Geosmin. I'm here today to share delight with you in the earth, the bees, the scent of soil, my joy in the water and fireflies. I believe that when we celebrate what we love, we protect it. We heighten our awareness and our connection. And I also deeply believe in the use of art, music, dance, words, sculpture, painting as a way of transforming the world by reframing the view. Geosmin is a word that means the scent of soil. That's the way I describe it, though actually in Greek it is earth odor. There is a word also in this poem, petrichor, which is the description of the scent of rain. And it's said that camels in the desert can detect geosmin released from wet ground miles away to track it, to find an oasis. Geosmin. Geosmin, fragrance of soil, slightly sweet, a kind of jasmine with a hint of spice, musky enough to bring a lover to his knees, and calls to mind earth, crumbly black at a warm enough time for the germination of bean seeds and hummingbirds building their tiny nests while we lie beneath leafing out trees. Like the smell of beets, some say, but I say its essence is far more sweet, the earthy scent released when raindrops land on ground, carry the aromatic compounds of soil creatures and their spores. Geosmin, essential perfume, leads us to water when drought and famine are over and makes us drink in the scent of rain, the odor of petrichor. Over millennia, we have been led by our noses. Geosmin, found in rock crevice domains, between mosses and molds, at the feet of lichen, in caves of brain folds, a marriage of rich, dark loam and love's eternal spark. When we love where we live, each day is a celebration. I often get up in the middle of the night and I go out onto the balcony on my farm in a hollow, and there are springs everywhere, but there's a spring creek that I have heard that indigenous people had as their sugar bush. It was the camp of the sugar bush. And this water sings all year long. So I listen to it. And I realize that even as I sleep, the land keeps blossoming, it keeps moving, it's fruiting, and it's resting through the night. And so to try and describe that, I realized I have no words for it. That's part of what's in this poem. I have no words for it. And you'll hear the word cannon, of course, which refers to a round. And you'll hear the word magazi, which is the Anishinaabe Moine word for eagle. An eagle flies at dawn to see if at least one human has remembered to greet the dawn so that the day may continue, so that the world may continue. At a loss. There is no word for this waking wonder of day that never ends, even in dark where the creek lets out as endless line its liquid cannon, a song that goes on through the facies, whether rock or not. If we take down these hills, crush and slam, frack sand deep against shale, there is no word to tell how these lands shone with corn, with bone of mastodon or crystalline stone, and once rolled as waves in ocean. When I wake, I have no word for the shifting soil singing beneath the soles of my feet. Even thanks seems so fleet. I have only the words spoken before sunrise, before Migazi has flown. Good morning. We're fortunate to live in a place of water in the upper Midwest of our country. One of my favorite water places is on the south shore of Lake Superior. A long time ago, I was a national park ranger in the Apostle Islands. And I love that place. I love the pink-orange sands. I love the carved layered cliffs and the beaches. This scene takes place on the backside of Madeline Island. Superior. It is the rare summer day of a northern Great Lake. 2 moms and 3 kids sit rocking in waves on the far shore of Madeline Island. Lake Superior calls a blue horizon against salmon sands, chants a song of slap and shush against children's joyous shrieks. Barefooted, gray-haired elders who elsewhere would be strangers immerse in lawn chairs, soak their toes, sit in as relatives for the day, presiding over an afternoon of sand mirrors, slapping feet, drip castle villages, and whisperings of other summer's children, while one mother, toweling her daughter, tells her, You will travel the world someday, yet this day, this place is right at the top. Those are the words of a friend of mine. Delight can be found anywhere at any time. Oh, but I need to find this poem. Uh-oh. We make delight in our lives and in the lives of others. I was struck by a moment in my neighborhood from when a neighbor shared his delight in stacking a wood pile and making art out of it. This one's called Art Goes Unbidden. Art goes unbidden among my rural neighbors, the ones who've always been here. Strange ideas come from those who've never left their home place, who wish to make their mark. The man who tries to arrange his woodpile so the logs of dark red elms spell out his name amid lighter splits of ash and oak. Uncalled for, art shows up. What we love, we celebrate, we protect. It's really important in Wisconsin that we protect our land, but most especially our waters. I believe that we live on top within the greatest water resource in the United States, here in the Driftless area, here in the state of Wisconsin. I created the poem Invocation, Call It Home. There we go. It's a broadside. I created this because of the devastating floods we had gone through and how we pick up our things and we come back and we try again over and over. And also that we need to celebrate what we have so we can protect what matters. At a time when there was so much and still is so much division, it's time for us to turn it around and reclaim our spaces with art of celebration and delight. With the help of Madison artist Stephanie Motz, this broadside was created to be given away. And a note at the bottom, I ask the readers and viewers to take an image or phrase from the poem. Perhaps you can't see the top, which is too bad, but you can see it here. The water bearers, I call them water bearers. Stephanie created them, and she created these seeds, these dots. She calls them life seeds. So these water bearers are seeding the land with life. And she put in creatures who are mentioned in the poem. She has snails and she has deer. She even tried to put in some nymphs in the water. And she has her corn or her lake or her river on the bottom. But I ask anyone who sees it to choose an image or choose a word or a phrase, something that sings to you, and do something with it. Maybe you want to make a drawing and stick it on a lamppost, or maybe you want to take a word and magnify it, put it in markers and decorate it, and stick it on a window or on a park bench. But if we treasure what we love through words and images, and we poster La Crosse, Wisconsin, we might be lifting things to say, this is what really matters. This is where we are going to draw our attention. I do take donations for the poem. I have it printed up and I give it away. I have just a few left with me today, so you can take one with you, or maybe one can stay here in the fellowship that everyone can read. So please do come and get one. And I'll read it to you now. Invocation, call it home. To this place, Wisconsin, the gathering of waters, we bind ourselves, call it home. Through seasons droughty and wild, we marvel at our inability to tame weathers or waters. We cannot leave the river. When she roars, we call her fickle, follow her trail of flotsam just the same as stumping behind a maladjusted baler flinging hay beyond the rick. We pick up what's tossed only to come back and try again. Like caddisfly larvae in spring creeks, cobbling homes of gravel and spit, hunkering in cold and wet. We wait for that ripe, glorious May afternoon to soar. We are does, listening for danger, watching for the swing of antlers that lift and set us in flight. Coyotes howl at the edges, hungry for spoils we won't share. Our caches of morels, flagons of maple syrup. Ours is a king's lair. We call this land home because we are here. We wish for nothing more than pie in summer, painting woodcocks in spring, spiraling over fields where turkeys fan, gravy in fall, wood-fired winters. We too smell the changes seasons bring, and still we stay. Therefore, let us bless these streams with rod and creel, these fields with trowel and seed. Fill our bellies with berry and cream, and brim our hearts full. I will end with this wish. May our delight widen, as does the light of an early June day, from each dawn earlier to each later night. And I understand there's a congregational response. Shall I read the query that I had created? And we can go wherever. When you think about what this place is where we live, what do you hold in your heart?